So,
I'm assuming you can all hear me clearly.
yes, it's very clear.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yes, so welcome to another session hosted by the Cafe Without Borders network, originally created by our dear Lamia Eid. Lamia, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you
In
so
the,
much.
in the morning, we are all enjoying our coffees. Great. So, um, maybe we can begin with a short intro about who all we are. You can take like just 5 seconds to answer your name, where are you from, and if you are in the education field, or what is your profession like. Maybe I can go first if that's okay with you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I'm Sai Gatupali. I am a educator and a researcher in the College of Education at University of Massachusetts Amherst, and I am also the presenter of today's session on prompt literacy. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I can go next. Okay. My name is Lamia. I'm originally Egyptian. Okay. I moved to the US to start my PhD. I stay here and I'm a colleague to Sai. Okay. I was honored to meet with Sai. Since then, Sai has been a very active member to our community. I'm doing my PhD here in teacher education, school improvement. Oh, we have Professor Magdaluk. Okay. And mainly I'm working. I used to work when I came as a research assistant, and then right now I'm a learning communities graduate at Riz Life and working on my PhD still in my coursework during my course. I have an idea, but I'm still not a candidate. So can we move to Professor Malek Zaruk? Professor Malek Zaruk was my advisor at the American University in Egypt during my master's degree. So this is the first time to be honored having Professor Malek Zaruk with us here. Hi, and here, yeah. Please.
How
Professor Malek.
how are you, Professor? Assalamu alaikum.
Hel- Alaikum Assalam.
How are you today?
Hello. Very good. Well, thank you.
Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Hello, Seth. Fine, thank you.
Okay, so I'm assuming we have ample people. Maybe we can just cut off our intros to the actual content. I'm going to share my screen. I don't want to cut anybody off who has been preparing their short intros, but let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
There are many slides. I have nearly 70 slides. I want to quickly run them through. So, welcome to this quick talk on prompt literacy as a new age skill. In this session, we will learn what is prompt literacy, how to effectively talk to AI, and some ethical and responsible AI use. Quick agenda. Uh, I distributed this. Don't really know if this is going to work out, but I'll try to keep it within the time frame. There is an discussions and questions sections at the very end that we can put some more time into. By the way, my name is Sai Gatupali. I am a education sciences researcher and a PhD candidate in the University of Massachusetts Amherst. With AI, I made a Venn diagram and to show basically my areas of research. I am showing you that here. Anyone can do this. Previously, if we were to do this, you needed to hire a graphic design artist, but now we have the power and capability to do anything you like. And that's also the theme of this slide, where we will look at many other things. I'm also the host of the Culture Compute podcast, where I interview and review research papers and researchers in the field of AI and education and culture and technology. Quick poll, huh? I would like to see where we stand. I know most of you have already used ChatGPT and Claude and stuff, all sorts of AI tools. If you did not, that's fine, no problem. But if you did, please go to the Zoom chat really quick and tell me if you used it before. Yes, no. Any quick one word sentence also works with me. This will help me tailor the other slides to be more professional and more tailored. I see Syed says yes. I know most of you already did. Beautiful. Almost everybody is using ChatGPT, which is amazing. Great, 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 great. Okay, so what exactly is AI? So you might be asking, what, what is AI? So I asked AI what AI is. So, and then it said that it is like a very smart friend who can help you with many things.
Mhm.
AI is not a real person, but it is a program that someone wrote to make the computer or the robot act smart. That's not what's important to me. The last sentence is very important to me. AI can do, AI can only do what the program tells it to do, which is also the theme of this slides and this session. So it is like a steering wheel, and you are the programmer. You have to navigate. You can blow a horn, you can turn left, right, go whatever you want. But if you don't do it, you will not reach your destination in the most efficient way. You will still reach your destination, but we would like to go to the destination in a optimal, effective way. So we all know from your interactions with AI that there is a universal interface. No matter which chatbot it is, it always looks, there's like a little chatbot, you type whatever you want. So the universal interface is what brings this new technology into the society. It's not complex, it's very easy. That's why it's a universal interface. We all use WhatsApp, and that also has a universal interface of chatting. So whatever you type into that little chat box is very, very, very crucial, which is also the purpose of this session. What you type actually shapes the output, and we will see how that happens in just a couple of minutes. But I would like you to understand that this chatbot is not just for anything, it is actually your immediate peer partner. You can ask it for anything, it will do it. When we will see what's happening there. So, quick recap as to what's happening in this field. Before we begin, I would like some little interjection from our members here. I'm showing you a small picture. Think outside the box. When you see this, what comes to your mind? Please use the Zoom chat to tell me what do you see? What do you what comes to your mind when you see something like that? No limits. That's true. There is no limits. Amazing. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Sharon is really up there. I see all the possibilities that lie outside the box in the black area. There's so much. That's true. Amazing. Really great. Yes. So, only if I see outside the box that I even know that there is other elements. There is a table with a plant on it. And if I even open up my mind a little bit more, I can see there is a door. So from here, we came here. So that is the full picture. I want you also to think about this chat box. as a vehicle to accomplish your interactions with AI. So we need to basically come into a mindset today. That mindset is that we go beyond just the chat context, and we will look at some more in just a couple minutes. But uh, context, what do you type here and where you want to go, who are in your car with you, are you, what songs are you listening to in the car, all that is also context. The more you give, the better it is. And we will basically look at how to craft these prompts, what are other researchers talking about, and this will be like your guide. There are many other guides out there, but I made this for education focused people like us. So we have to always see the full picture, that this is not just a chat box. It is an extremely intelligent, which has already passed GRE, GMAT, IELTS, TOEFL, you name it, it passed it. So the intelligence is overflowing. It's so much better than the best humans. And so thinking outside the box for our individual and professional purposes is very important. Some previous research in this field, AI literacy and its implications for prompt engineering strategies, is a great piece from the Computers and Education Journal, only from June 2024, where they talk about why is this important, that we talk about prompting and AI literacy in the broader contexts. Not only that, my highly cited paper called Prompt Literacy, a pivotal educational skill in the age of AI, also talks about why this is really important to be considered in schools, universities, general public like my mom and my aunt. Why do they need to do this? Not only that, I also coined the term prompt gramming. It's a new term including programming and prompting. So there is that, and there is a book chapter we wrote with Bob Malloy from University of Massachusetts Math Education, who and I, we talk about what is this? Why do we even care about this? And only recently I said that this is a new field of science that is being not cared upon by school systems. This is a actual skill that you need if you are in a school and about to get out of school, high school, or even university. They need to teach this. And I explain that in this paper. All the links are in the in the slides. I will share the slides after this. In 2023, we basically scaled whatever we are trying to do in this prompting to math learning, which was accepted to the AIED conference, which is actually the pinnacle point in our lives that made me get into this prompt literacy. So, in addition to this, Salem State University and University of California, UC Davis, both list my work, I mean our work, as really important in teaching, research, and learning with Gen AI or generative AI or chats AI, whatever you want to call it. So it is really important that what I'm talking about here is really has meaningful impact on our professional lives. So you saw all this research, but who cares? So what? Who cares? What is the purpose of this? And now I'm going to show you like a job screenshot, which I did early last week for prompt engineers. I'm putting a screenshot here, and it says that the pays are really up there. For example, this is $250,000, which is a huge amount for prompt engineering jobs. No, not only that, let me go back to this. Not only that, there is a piece by MIT's Technology Review, which says that the job titles of the future are AI prompt engineering jobs, which is a job that involves you interacting with Gen AI. Not only that, there is a NPR article. NPR is the National Public Radio, funded by the public in the United States.
الويب كافيه ده
One of the hottest jobs in the AI right now is types the question guy. It's really funny that this is happening, but it's like essentially like a prompt engineering job. All the questions you have, you can ask an AI. That's the type of a job. Great article, by the way. So that gives you a lot of money. You just have to see how to use it in your work life and professional careers. It's a really short meme I made. You may not make so much money, but it is there. But so what is a prompt? What are we talking about? What is this? What exactly is a prompt? So I've enabled audio, so you may be able to hear this.
A prompt is text input that provides instructions to the AI model on how to generate output. For example, someone who owns a clothing store might want an AI model to output new ideas for how to market their clothing. This business owner might write the prompt, "I own a clothing store. We sell high fashion women's wear. Help me brainstorm marketing ideas."
There is that, and then another.
You probably keep on hearing about prompt engineer, but what exactly is it and how do you become one? A prompt engineer specializes in designing, developing, and refining AI-generated text prompts, also to optimizing prompt performances and improving AI prompt generation processes for different applications. A critical part of this job is really being able to address and understand the limitations of the AI. Being really aware of bias or misinformation and being able to sift through that. What skills do you need to become a prompt engineer? I think the main one that is listed throughout wherever you go online to look is critical thinking, being able to take a piece of information and figure out the best way to extract more information from that. The other, which depends on what area of field you want to become a prompt engineer in, is, I would say, being to some degree an expert in that field, with whatever technology or area of study that you are focusing on. To become a good prompt engineer, you also need to have a deep understanding of AI, natural language processing, machine learning, and AI-generated content development.
So we have that going on. Let's see. What is a prompt? A prompt is like a bridge between us humans, organic beings, and generative AI systems. Basically, previously, just up to 4 years ago, if you wanted to talk to a computer, talk in the sense program a computer, you needed Java, Python, HTML, whatever programming language. You needed to know that language so you can talk to the computer. Not anymore. That's because you can now think of prompt as a command in our human language, Egyptian, English, Hindi, whatever language. And that basically guides the bot or the chatbot to perform something for you, a laborious task, a specific task. Good prompts create good outputs, or effective prompts can lead to high quality outputs. And so I show you like a bridge that previously many people who did not know programming languages were left behind on this side of the bridge. Not anymore, because we can now just talk to the thing in our language and it does its processing in the backend. Hallucinations. I'm sure you have heard of this. If you did not, that's okay. It is the idea that when you ask AI, sometimes it makes mistakes. And sometimes these mistakes are really, really weird. They're nonsensical or completely inaccurate. This is a screenshot I'm showing from IBM's research page. Hallucinations can be addressed. The field of this AI is going towards that area where we will see less and less mistakes. It's only improving. In order to do that also, you'll have to create good prompts or effective prompts. It's also like a infant field So there is a lot of potential for those who would like to continue their careers in this field. It's a great time to be involved in this. It's emerging, very emerging it is. Prompt literacy. It is the ability to understand and craft effective prompts, as well as to evaluate what you wrote and refine them. It's a cyclic process. It's a new age skill. We need this in this day and age. Previously, if I wanted to learn about Nefertiti, I go to Google and then I look at Wikipedia or a museum's page and so on. Websites was the main source of my knowledge. After AI came, all that is gone. The chatbot goes and does that for you. You can just directly interact with Nefertiti. So that's a new way of retrieving knowledge that we did not have previously, that we have to understand. It's a new age skill that helps us interact with AI in meaningful and responsible ways. It's also like an evolving field, like I was saying earlier. So there is ample potential for anyone to bring it up with their own careers. But from like an educational perspective, if you are able to create prompts, any general prompts, it is by default enhancing your students' creativity and critical thinking skills, according to Jacobs and Fisher. What are other scholars talking about this prompt literacy? According to Wong, 2023's paper, prompt literacy is an increasingly crucial literacy for the AI era, because you need to be able to talk to this. If you're not able to communicate properly, it will not give you any information that you might like. Very generalized the output will be. And it's also crucial for better engagement with generative AI tools. Developing fine-tuned prompt literacy is vital to generate more accurate output, according to Kang and Yi. I'm showing you a screenshot from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, who have a page on the Office of Innovative Technologies, where they show a small screenshot on the importance of prompt writing or prompt literacy. You need to create effective prompts to harness the power of AI. Think of prompts as the questions or commands we give to AI. The better our prompts, the more accurate and useful the AI's response will be. Why is this important? Generally speaking, according to Mutluku Kurova, it is a way of hybrid intelligence, human intelligence, artificial intelligence, hybrid intelligence. It is helping us amplify our human value with this new technology. Also helps us develop critical thinking skills and how we seek information in this new website-less age. It's more chatbot age. That's the end of part one. We are now going into part two on how to craft something that is effective, the actual skill that I think is really important. So this is into two parts, basic and advanced. If I just go to chatbot, I'm not demonstrating any of this because you can do this really, but if I just go to chatbot, any chat, and I say write some code, I mean, what will it write? You need to give it some more context. Write a poem about nature, okay? That is really, it still works, but you can be very specific there, such as be specific and be very concise as to what you are expecting from this. From write something about cells to write a short paragraph explaining the difference between mitosis and meiosis in simple terms. Generate a haiku poem about the water cycle. You see so much differences there. You have to be specific. You need to provide some context. Most of you are already doing this. This is very basic. We all know this anyway. I'm showing you another little um, cheat sheet that I found on Reddit, ChatGPT subreddit. So the prompt basically is like, act as a mindset coach and create an article on a specific topic and show as a summary. So that is like a assigning a role. Now we are slowly heading towards slightly more advanced prompt crafting. Excuse me. This is a since it is like a new way of retrieving, there are many people who are working on frameworks. You know, if you go to India, for example, you have to drive on the left side of the road. It is a fundamental framework of that country. If you come to the US, you have to drive on the right side of the road, which is also a fundamental characteristic in that road safety network in the US. In the same way, crafting prompts also has some techniques or frameworks. People are working on it. The first, I really like this, slightly advanced, is called the CAST framework or the CAST model. Jacobs and Fisher did this. So basically, what they are asking us to do is that when you write a prompt, it has to clearly be mentioned inside of it. Who are your audience? What are the specifications? And what are the criteria? And you also need to test this iteratively. For example, here is a screenshot from their own paper. So the first prompt, summarize the main theme of Eli Wiesel's Night. So this is a author whose book is Night. It's a really great book, by the way. So that I can do right now. But then when you apply the CAST model, you assign to the prompt certain personality. So that is where the all this masala is. So acting as a docent of the Holocaust Museum. So you assign the chatbot a role. Prepare a bulleted list of statements to explain how identity and resilience of human spirit were important themes of Villa Visuals Night on a 7th grade level. So basically you gave it the audience, A for audience, C for criteria for bulleted list, A for another audience, S for specificity. So after testing, it becomes even more complex. So basically, I would like from now on, when you're interacting with your chatbots, from a one-liners, make it into like a more specific prompt. It's one example. In the same way, there are other people who have also made other models, frameworks. One is a trust model made by Tori Trust, who is, by the way, my PhD advisor. She does TRUST. It's also fancy that her last name is also Trust. Smart naming convention there. Another is clear. Basically, they want us to have concise, logical, explicit, and adaptive and reflective inside the prompt. So that way it is more meaningful. So let's look at some examples. I'm again looking at this from an educational perspective. It might be different if you are in another profession. Imagine I send this prompt to AI, translate this paragraph into Spanish, and then I send the paragraph in Spanish, in English. You do that, it works. But if you do this, which is a cast refined, translate this paragraph into a beginner level Spanish suitable for 5th grade students, maintaining a playful tone. The difference is worlds apart. I want to understand that you have the audience here. That's really important. Another one, for people who are in history education or history teachers in K-12. Suggest homework ideas on ancient civilizations. Okay, it will still do it. But if I say provide 3 engaging homework assignments on ancient Egyptian civilization tailored for 8th grade students, ensuring each activity can be completed within 30 minutes. So from now on, in all your prompts, include as much context as possible. That's very important. So this is one technique. Now we look at a personality technique, and we are using the following in a education technology for little children, elementary children. It's called usable math. I will show you what I'm talking about. Look at this prompt. Take the personality of a math coach who provides strategies for understanding language and meaning of questions using kid-friendly vocabulary. The coach's motto is, so basically you give a personality and then you also tell what the coach actually thinks like. My job is to explain the math questions clearly so you know what you are supposed to do to solve the problem. Sometimes there are unfamiliar and confusing terms in the question. I will help you understand what they mean. My first math problem is, and then you replace that with the actual problem. We use this exact same prompt in teaching little children, 4th graders. We prompted that into our chatbot. We made a chatbot which runs on that philosophy. Another prompt is something very similar. Take the personality of a math coach who uses strategic thinking clues such as rounding, estimation, elimination of wrong answers to solve math problems. The coach's motto is same thing, another such, and then we provide the problem. So this is another technique. So from now on, if you're asking for help on a chat bot, I want you to also begin the prompt with you. I am a high school history teacher teaching 8th, 9th, and 10th grades. And then you continue. So tell it who you are or who you want the chatbot to talk like. That way it has more context. It has the language for us to work with it. I'm also going to share this link of a GitHub prompt engineering repository where a lot of people made amazing prompts, by the way. I'm showing here for people who are trying to learn English. My first language is also not English, but I mean, not everybody has the ability to come to US and learn English, but there is a prompt that will let the chatbot behave like an actual spoken English teacher and improver. So that's the prompt. I want you to act as a spoken English teacher and improver. I will speak to you in English and you will reply to me in English to help me practice my spoken English. So these are all personality-based prompts. Remember this. Next technique is using documents. Imagine we are talking about Nefertiti again. I know I can go to a chatbot and I can just say, tell me about Nefertiti's biography. It will give me everything. But then I have a research paper, a PDF from Google Scholar. I use that as an external resource in my chatbot. I'll say in this PDF, use the definition, use the biography from this work as to define what happened with Nefertiti's biography. These researchers, Ethan Mollick and Lilac Mollick, are really great at this. In this paper from the Wharton University of Pennsylvania, they made really great prompts. I'm going to share this link later. We also has that. So for example, let's look on the only on the top. For this another technique. Use this PDF explaining black holes. So basically, I looked up black holes, CNN or anything, I downloaded the PDF, and then we will use that to craft a detailed explanation for high school students. So remember this, don't forget this tech terminology. If you send to the chatbot one file in addition to the prompt, it is called one-shot learning. If you send more than one, if you send 5 PDFs or 5 documents, slideshows, whatever, it is called 5-shot learning. How many you send, that number goes here. It is a technique to improve accuracy in prompt literacy. So remember this. So from next time, if somebody asks you, you will tell them, I used 5-shot learning where I supplied 5 PDF files from this field to the thing. So that is one thing. Another technique, we'll go to the bottom here, chain of thought prompting. Okay, imagine this. Today I'm going to make a potato curry. I can't just think that I will make it potato curry, but I have to think systematically. I need to first have potatoes. I need to have onions, maybe some tomatoes. I need to chop them. I need to think systematic. So inside the prompt, you can mention that. First, devise a plan to explain black holes to high school students. Outline the key concepts in this order. Define what is black hole, explain how it forms, describe its effects on space and time, and then provide a detailed explanation using simple language and so on. I used AI to create that. So you can use AI to create a prompt. So use it to help you navigate. So this is called chain of thought prompting. This will help, you know how in our classrooms for high schools or in school settings, we want our students to think out loud what they are about to say. Chain of thought prompting is like that. The AI will literally show what it is thinking step by step in chain of thought prompting. I'm showing you some active communities. I highly encourage you all to go here. These are links I will put in the chat in the slideshow. Prompt design, prompt engineering, prompt library from Anthropic. These are great resources. You can find amazing prompts there. They'll always give you the highest accurate answers. So that is the end of the prompt literacy section. We have apparently, I'll try to close it out really fast. Of course, there is more. There is always more. This is not going to end. This field will not let us end anything. So responsible and ethical, or ethical and responsible use. How to use this ethically? Many people have this in their minds that my students are using this to cheat. Of course, they are going to cheat. There's no other way we can do this. But if you give them some broader frameworks on how to navigate this, it is at least helping them become more ethical and responsible in their use of AI. So I'm showing you the really smiley photo of my advisor. Tori Trust is a great scholar in this field. She's a professor of learning technologies. She has recently created a AI syllabus policy. This is broadly discussed in my episode, in a podcast episode in my own podcast. I will show that later. But the idea is that you tell your students what is allowed and what is not allowed. Let me show this in more detail. What is allowed? You can use AI to generate ideas for your class projects. Yes. because not everybody is able to have like a creative mind. AI can bridge that. You can use, yes, great. What is not used? Sometimes on your LMS, Canvas, or Moodle, or whatever, your teacher or you as a teacher goes there and then you say, respond to this discussion. Some students just copy all that, put in chatbot and say, respond to this discussion prompt. I mean, there is no personalization in it. It's just really generic information. That is not allowed. At least you are creating like a new framework for your students to think like. Also, in addition to that, think about it. AI, everything we are doing right now is completely a stolen property. Chatbots are from stolen material. We can't escape that, unfortunately. That's how it is. So be aware of all the biases on immigration, racism, all sorts of trash. It's all in the chatbot. So it is your responsibility, our user or a student's responsibility to ensure there are no hidden biases. If there are any, remove them or cite them, research them, and show them why it is really there. Another thing is, every time, I don't have a water bottle, but I want to show you this little bottle. Imagine this water bottle. Every time you ask an AI to create an image, a water bottle of water is consumed to keep the server cool. You know how many images are being made every second? There are people in Africa who are dying of lack of water while we are just prompting chatbots back and forth to create images. It is a energy intensive. It's huge on the grid, power grid. So keep that also in mind, that this is happening. When you create anything like this, let's try to use Google images, stock free images, not AI images. It's a very ecological thinking that is hurts me. So what is not allowed? Using Gen AI to create images. Don't encourage that with your students. If you see anyone, show them this. Generating media with AI is an energy intensive process, has negative impacts on environment. We encourage you to use Pixabay, which is a stock free photo base, or YouTube or anything like that. So some best practices, if you are into education, syllabus integration, you can use this document that Tori made. I will share that in the slides. You can use that as a direct open access document. Your students will know. I use it in my own course that I'm teaching at UMass. It is encouraging students to become more closely attached to this chatbot, but from a new lens, not to cheat, but to think and understand why and what is all this. What is the purpose of it? Serves a purpose. I will share the link in with this. But again, we're almost at the end. I know some of us have some fears. When I am afraid because starting January next year, first quarter 2025, we will see agents never before seen. You will remember my words. There will be millions and billions of agents all around the world. You just have to call them. They are free agents. They are not chatbots. You cannot see them. They will do everything for you. If you pay for them, they will do better job. If you don't pay for them, they will do a job. The agents are coming. It's a new wave of immigration that we have never seen before. So there is a resume agent that somebody made, and it will just create resumes for you. It's not a chatbot. It is a new phase of chatbot. It is a pre-programmed chatbot. So that's coming up. So be aware of that. So quickly to end this, and I want to quickly do a recap, any takeaway. So we basically found out today, very generally, that prompt literacy serves as a foundation for interacting with AI. The better you communicate, the well-structured outcomes will happen. So that's very important. Some techniques we saw include caste, trust, chain of thought, few shot, and most importantly, personality. Give it a personality. That's really important. You give it some characteristics. What do you want the teacher to look like? Think like. You just put all that in the prompt. That will help us reduce and improve accuracy of our outputs. And I'm also sharing this AI syllabus policy that will help us uh, dilute into our classes. All the students will have to be aware of this. I will share that in right after this. That basically that's the end of this slide deck. I'm open to taking any questions, but before that, let me just put the anyone with the link, view, chat. I'm putting this link in the chat. Don't know why I did not do that early on. Sorry about that. But connect with me. I made this slide so you can connect with me. This is more important to all of us because you need to build your network. Apparently, in the 21st century, if I never show this to anyone, nobody will know the techniques. So the connections are made when you connect with other researchers. Look me up on my LinkedIn. I will love to connect with you. Stay connected there. But yeah, so that's the quick outline of what I was trying to show from a prompt literacy as a new skill in this day and age. We have 10 more minutes. Yes, tell me.
I don't have a question, but I want a permission because as you know that by the end of every session, because it's recorded, I download and upload it to our Facebook page. Okay. So are you okay that I post as well this link or not?
Yeah, please, of course. This is open access.
Okay. Thank you. I'm taking permission,
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much.
Any questions, people are, please tell me. What do you think about this new day and age of a new skill? Sharon, tell me, how are you? I like your glasses. You're on mute.
Thank you for the compliment. And thank you for all your insights. I have a couple of questions. I mean, I think we need to make a distinction between using AI prompts as a help for communicating instruction, which, all these are very good points. But for example, when you say, when you're assessing, when you're showing write this as a 7th grader, it's sort of showing the kids how to cheat, really. And that's something we need to take into account. I have already started, I mean, since last year, I've been using AI very selectively in my classes. This semester, I've used it a bit more, with a bit more direction, very much like what you say. But my concern is for later. Right now, everybody seems to be and correct me if I'm wrong, but in my experience, everybody seems to be talking about using AI as users of our age who have already received the opportunity of critical thinking through, let's call it, traditional ways, schooling, and all of us here, definitely, and all the students whom we now have. But what about students who are 3 and 4 and who are going to start using AI much earlier? And my fear is they will not have had the critical biological opportunity to develop from ages 1 to 18, 26, the critical prefrontal cortex capacity of actually thinking critically. So what's your view on that?
I totally agree with you. We have yeah. We are in one way, we are privileged because we went through the traditional way of being instructed on how to think and how to be critically evaluating material, whatever. But the new generation has no such thing.
Exactly.
It's a new way, though. It's a completely new way. We don't know what that new way is. It's really
Yeah.
sad to even think about the new generation. There's so many kids out there, and they're all in a new, completely new, under new umbrella that we no idea where it is heading. It's terrifying
Mm.
to see how much damage it might cause or where it is going to take a lot of children. Forget about children who are about to graduate from schools right now. Maybe in the
Yeah.
colleges they will be taught.
Yeah.
But what about the children who are just entering school? You see? And so I'm in the same bucket there. We are in the same track. It's very hard to understand where this is going. It's again a very evolving field. Everybody's trying to struggle, but at the fundamental level, one theme is arising, which I saw other people also talk about, called childhood, no, uh, kindergarten intifada.
Hmm.
They are saying that don't teach my young kid who is in kindergarten AI. I've seen this in Texas. So it's a new parent driven mission. They're saying that I still want my kids to have the traditional way. There's like a division happening, at least
Yeah.
here, what I saw, but I agree with
But
you here.
it's not going to last. I mean, it was like the phone, you know, the mobile phones. I was one of the last people to use a phone, but you can't stop children from using a phone. It's become so ingrained into all our lives. It's impossible. And I think that's the one thing that drove me to exploring using AI in class is the fact that whether I like it or not, whether we as a generation like it or not, if we don't embrace somehow this new technology, we won't be relevant anymore.
That's true. I agree. Yeah, it's like a hammer.
Yeah.
It's like a hammer. You need this to make a table. You can still make without a hammer, but it's going to take a long time. You'll be left behind. You, in the sense, us as humanity is at stake. I think it's like a turning point. I agree with you, really, Sharon. Yeah.
Mm.
Any more questions? Tell me.
No, I can complement what Shireen said here in terms of the same prompt about seventh graders. Okay, when you showed this prompt, the first thing that came to my mind, who decide that is convenient for seventh graders?
Yeah.
Are children similar? Are they all within the same level in general? Are they all taught in the same way? Who decides that this material will work with every student and every child in the seventh grade? And that will make me to think critically about when writing these kind of prompts, how they are generated or based on what they are generated. So because in the end, whether ChatGPT or any other kind of AI tools, they are kind of tools that whatever inserted in them, it's like a bucket will be filled with whatever kind of knowledge. And then I will ask, and within this bucket, I will give in the answer. They will not search out of this bucket. Whatever the kind of information inserted inside, they will give us the answer. So in that sense, this makes me to question what kind of information inserted in this bucket to tell me how to teach my seventh grader student wherever this student located across the world. Do you think that Indian student, for example, who in seventh grade need the same type of education or ideas or prompts or information like another seventh grader student, for example, in the US, in Egypt, in Morocco, in Tunisia? Are we all taught in the same way and the same level, the same pace, the same ideas? That stopped me here. So to make me more, I wanted to question about the input before thinking about the output.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so we can. It's an active discussion. There many people talk about this really. Um, I think I can answer that from whatever expertise I have in this field. Will might also pitch in. Will and I work in the same lab, by the way. Uh, we can use different types of prompting. Few shot prompting is amazing in this case. Previously in India, where we hosted a science expo in high school, we supplied to the chatbot the local standard
Mhm.
that helped us tailor it to the local standard that's being taught and sanctioned curriculum file it was. So that really helped us. Even we were struggling initially to see how is this outcome or output is it tailored to Indian kids? Clearly it is not. It's completely, there is a lot of biases there. But when we did a few shot technique, essentially you send with the prompt, upload a couple of files which are meaningful to that glocal, G-local, localized education. So that helped also actually. Maybe there are better options, but from my personal experience, it was uh, something we expected. It really worked well.
Yeah, I believe it will give a very good some good ideas. I don't deny that because it's actually getting from what is already out there, trying to shift and tweak based on the new context, and then after that, develop new ideas and good ideas. But what I'm afraid about here, this kind of limitations within for our children, our students, in terms of might be our children can fly way more than what just ChatGPT can offer, or any AI tool can offer. Okay, they are limited from this freedom because in the end, educators, I'm afraid of this as well, that educators use to resort to, let's say, the nature to get their maybe resources to teach their children in an innovative way, whatever kind of resources they can get, maybe from the nature, from whatever they have as a kind of resources. So what makes me afraid here, educators, by like step by step, after that, they will get used to that, stop being creative and rely solely on AI tools to be the creative tools to help them.
Yeah,
And will limit the core about education, the freedom of knowledge, the freedom of knowledge production, the thing that I think throughout eras, many educators and many critical educators across the world, they have been fighting for freedom, dream freedom. And this is will go against that because by time educators will get used and stop relying on their creativity, seeing AI as the creative model ever, then they can't compete.
yeah, true. I agree.
Um,
This is over reliance on AI. If you put all your cognitive abilities and outsource it to like a chatbot, where will your actual freedom of creative expression be, right? That is also like a thing the computer science industry doesn't really consider that. For example, they are really fast at whatever they want to do. They don't really care about the implications it brings to society.
We don't hear about reflection, this kind of education. We are more within the qualitative part as educationists, but when talking about science, they are more on the numbers side, like the quantitative angle of education. They are more about how many teachers will do X, how many students will get this certificate, how many what. But when talking about education, we as educationists, we look more at aspects away from numbers. emotions,
Right.
perception.
May I, if I may, I think there's another perspective here, Lamia, if I may, that maybe we need to consider. And I totally understand where you're coming from. I see what you're saying. And of course, if we're talking about kairos of place and time, there is a different framing of in India, for example, as opposed to anywhere else, all different countries. But at the same time, when you do have that much sharing across a system like ChatGPT or like this bot, you have access to so much more creativity out there.
Yes.
So it is there. I mean, what has nourished Western thought, for example, are all the books written by Eastern philosophers, by Arab philosophers. What has nourished us is also all the books that we've been reading from the Western world, if we're going to be very black and white, yeah, and so on. All the books that we've always read, in a way, it's as if all these books are now in our personal library, and so you are able to access all this knowledge and all these perspectives and all these. So in fact, your creativity should be exponentially bit greater, especially since you can have different iterations of the same response from AI. So, one time it's going to give you this, one time's a focus on something else. And with this prompting, with this very refined prompting that Sai has explained, it will allow you to be creative. What I'm worried about is that you will be creative, but how much of it will it be manipulative? Because, there's going to be bias and everything. And even if it gets better, it's still manipulation of a bigger power out there telling you how to think. Even if it is a very creative way of thinking, it's still telling you how to think. But don't forget, again, if we're looking way down, there is an erosion of boundaries. And I think, Sai, you said something very well, very specific about the new migration. There's a new form of migration. And it's true, talk about, and I think now is the coming of age of this idea of the one village. Remember way back 20 years ago or something, they were talking about the world is one village. This is really what it's becoming through AI, this one village idea, that there are no identity. There's going to be an erasure of identity, an erasure of individuality, which in many ways, I think, going into something a bit different, connecting something different, which is, the way the American election have gone, maybe that they're holding on to Trump and his ideals was a way of maintaining their own identity, regardless of what you may think of that identity or not, but it's a way of doing that. And I don't know, like you said, I don't think we can know what's going to happen. It might backfire. It might turn everybody into silos again, and then we're back into the paradox of choice, and you don't know what to do or what to think. But there's definitely, I've been using it in my professional, because I help my husband with his business, the business side of the communication side of his business. And I'm a professor, research professor. And so I've used it in both. And of course, it's different situations, and I'm trying my best. And there's so much also of it. It would be lovely if we could get just a sabbatical, just to study what's all out there, at least. But I used to be completely against it. I was very vocal from November 2022 when it came out. And then, I've been reading so much about it and thinking about it and using it, because you need to know your enemy. And, no, it's definitely here to stay, and it's got its uses.
I agree with you, Professor. I think, also this is, even if you don't want to use it,
Mm.
the technology
Yeah,
companies will
course.
find a way. They will
Well,
force it on us.
it's already being forced.
Whether you accept or not, you will use it.
Yeah, but that's what I said. That's what I said. If we refuse, and that's what I realized, if we stand against it, it's like a tsunami, we can't stand in front of it, and we need to go with the flow. How much of the flow do we need to go with? That's the issue. And are we going to find something to hang on to on the way? But it's definitely a tsunami.
No, I agree there. Yeah, but wait, we have already passed the time. Great discussion we are having, actually.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you for your
we are having amazing discussion. I really wish we had like 5 hours on this. But I must go. And
Yeah, so I was about to
really,
say,
thanks for having me, Lamia. Thanks for hosting this, really.
we are ending our session because it's more than 1 hour. Thank you so much,
Thank you very
Sai, and for this amazing information that you shared that definitely we will all use and read carefully to understand more. And thank you so much for accepting here today and sharing all of this great stuff. And I'm sure that everyone here benefited a lot. And as we know that we are empowering each other to grow together as being graduates here, trying to grow and reach our potentials in our futures. So thank you so much for today's Cafe Without Borders session, and wait to find out what will happen in the next month.
Thank you, Lamia, for organizing this as usual.
Thank you, really.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Sai.
it.
Namaste.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Bye.
Bye.